Okay, episode what?
Where's your tweet?
Colette, I was just about to start the podcast.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I see her issue. I don't think you did it.
I tweeted. What do you mean?
It's not coming in my...
Maybe, I don't think you're attached or something.
There's you.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Hold on, you guys. We gotta wait.
Oh, he just did a retweet.
Because you
instead of a quote retweet.
I retweeted yours.
Oh.
I'm lazy.
And you changed your avatar to a Christmas. I didn't see.
No, I didn't. Where? Let me see.
On her app?
Is that you or is
No,
that...
that's blog.
See, it says...
Shay Carl retweeted.
You guys,
I
hold on.
did
We
a
have to
quote
teach
retweet.
Colette how to use Twitter real quick.
So should I
There's a
retweet
quote
yours?
retweet.
Love me, just love me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When the kids are
Like, leave all that in. You know, right? Why not?
When the
It's
kids
all
go to
funny.
sleep,
This is TERABRITE, right?
Yeah, TERABRITE, yeah.
They're everywhere.
memories. When the kids go to sleep.
Yay!
I like that.
Welcome to our live studio audience. Today we have Charles TRIPPY, King of the CTFxC Nation. What's going on?
King of the nation.
King of the Caleb. Would you say Caleb the Nation?
No, King of the Nation.
King of the nation.
Of the nation.
Of the nation.
No, Phil's the nation. You can't take.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Is it funny how YouTubers like take
You have to have like an army
team names
or a nation or something like that, or a gang.
We've never. I guess we're the Shaytards.
You're your own
We're
thing.
tar-
We're not. We don't really
Yeah.
have a. But that you can't like. Hey, tards! Like that's just.
The Tard Army.
I wish I wouldn't.
Babe.
Do you wish we wouldn't have ever named
Embrace
it
it.
the Shaytards?
Well, it's too late. Slightly
offensive.
too late. Only a few years.
A name change?
500 million views later, we're gonna change it to the butt tards. Is that butlers? The butler tards? I don't know.
You know, I want to
You
say
know-
nice shirt. Nice shirt.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
All right, let's do some business right up front. I like to say my thing that I usually say.
Go ahead, babe.
Welcome to the
We're all listening.
podcast. It's when the kids go to sleep. You better be, because I have a
I'm
lot to
listening.
say, and I'll say it loud if you're not
Okay.
listening. And if anybody in the world is even slightly laughing, I will continue until everybody stops laughing.
It's true, guys.
Casey used to always say that. He'd be like, just stop laughing or he won't quit. Here we are, WTKGTS at Maker Studios in Los Angeles, California. This is episode 90.
90?
That's a lot of those.
That is.
Charles was saying that...
We should be
Yeah,
professionals.
I'll come
He
back
was-
in 10 episodes.
He was mad this wasn't episode 100.
Like, what? I thought this was the 100th.
I flew out just for this, you know?
Okay,
Right?
so welcome to our podcast. If you've never been to our podcast, Colette and I, we've been married for 10 years. We're the
Almost 10
proud
years. Not
parents.
quite.
Just round up.
No, because we haven't had our anniversary yet.
It's like it's like a month, right? January 3rd.
Close.
well, I
that's
don't know. You
close.
tell me. When's our anniversary?
I don't know when we got married. We got married a decade ago. Charles, hold on for a second.
I'm gonna
That's
back
it. We're
Listen
having
here, and
marital
another thing I
issues.
want to tell you.
Whoa.
I just
Hey
did some
now, hey
genitalia
now.
punching. Anyways, we do a podcast twice a week, and this has been our, probably the first
We go way back.
person.
We go way... Well, there goes my...
Oh, so unprofessional, dude. I thought you were in a rock
Your
band.
headphones go way back,
Hold on,
too.
hold on. There we go. Couldn't hear you for a second.
So when was that very, very, very first gathering that we met?
Oh, in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I met you in 2007, right?
is-
And then I met you early 2008,
Eight,
just
probably.
right after. It was like
Dude, that was
Well, like,
February
when did we meet?
of
YouTube?
2007.
YouTube Live.
Live, yeah.
I feel like it was YouTube Live.
Yeah.
And then you and I met in San Francisco at the
Pier.
Sea Lion Pier.
The Sea Lion Pier, Pier 39. So this February will be 5 years
5 years.
that we first met. So I started YouTube, and it was like I'd only started like a couple months, and then Phil gave me that shout out.
Right.
And when I roped my buddy Adam, who worked at the radio station with me.
remember Adam.
Remember him?
Yeah, it was fun.
I roped him into coming out with me, and
I had
we came
forgotten
out
that
to.
he went with you.
Yeah, he came. Well, I was like, I didn't want to take you because we had the kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm
Baby
gonna go to
Tard
this.
was like just born.
She was
right?
like Rock Tard. She was younger than
Yeah.
Rock Tard.
Oh, yeah,
at
she
the
was-
time.
She was Baby Tard.
She was.
Baby,
She was
baby.
literally
She was the
Baby
baby
Tard.
tard.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to think she's like 5 now and we're still calling her Baby Tard?
Well,
we need to
she's
rename
the
her.
baby.
So I remember coming out.
Honey, it's like Shaytard. You can't change it.
Yes, you're right. Yes,
She'd
you're
be
right.
like 25, like, oh, I need a name change.
You think that's gonna mess her up in life?
No, are you
I
kidding
think they
me?
embrace it.
Do you think?
I think so.
Maybe we've mentally damaged our children forever.
We probably have.
have.
Whoops.
Anyway, so I remember coming to the pier and Charles was right there, like the very first person that like came up to me and was like, "Hey," and like came up and gave me a big.
Whoa! Teacher burp. We got a teacher burp over there.
What do you call? I heard you
gave
say
you
that
a
the other
big
day.
what?
It's like when you're like
He came up, he's like, "Bleh." I was like, "Whoa, why are you vomiting on me?"
It's a teacher
That's what
burp.
happens when
Yeah, Sean.
drinks
It's just
juice.
basically you kind of like talking like this, and you're like, and then you kind of continue your
You're
conversation.
trying to like finish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a teacher burp.
I'm embarrassed.
Shay didn't really silence his.
That was
so
embarrassing. Somebody in the chats are saying that was weak.
Blake's laughing at you.
But yeah, no, that
Oh,
was
funny.
fun. I remember that. Like, you came up, and you, myself, and Mr. Safety,
Yep.
and Phil, we all hung out in the hotel.
That was so crazy because at the time I was just barely getting started on YouTube. I think I maybe had like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, and I remember like Lisa Nova and Danny Diamond was there, and they walked by, and I didn't know who they
You're
were.
like,
I didn't know them.
Steve was there too.
Steve Chen, the creator of YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
was at that very first gathering. And I
have-
remember we were all like
That's
looking at him
crazy.
like, whoa, he's a billionaire.
I do
Because
it
they
was
had
like,
just sold
it,
YouTube. Yeah.
And I got a photo, and I'm like doing this. I was when the iPhone first came out, so
Yeah.
no one could take photos with it.
Right.
So I'm like this, and Steve's like that. It's like my prize photo.
Did I take that picture?
It may have been you.
I think I
It
honestly
may
took
have
that
been you.
picture because I remember feeling like I need to take a really good like this is an
It's
important
funny.
picture.
It's all blurry, like
Dude,
it's the
I
best
forgot
photo.
about that. Think about that. The creator of YouTube
Just came and hung out.
was at like one of the very first YouTube gatherings.
And it
That's
wasn't like
community.
a huge gathering.
No, there's like
Mr. Safety put it on.
Mr. Safety did it, yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, I remember that night, like, we all hung out in a hotel room, and it was, Phil and his girlfriend Lindsay, and me and you and Corey, Mr. Safety, and I
Yeah.
had no idea about YouTube, but you guys had been doing it for how long had you been doing
To be
it?
honest, I don't think we even knew what we were doing. I mean,
How
that was
long-
5
Yeah, it
years
was
ago.
that new. It was really new.
It was like we were just starting.
Yeah.
Like that was when the top subscriber was 20,000 like subscribers or
Right.
something like that. And like,
I just remember
Can
being
you
like,
imagine?
oh my god,
No.
go back, use the website. It's called like Wayback Machine. Have you
Right.
ever used that?
Yep, yep.
And just go back a couple years,
and
it's
you can see all the
unbelievable.
old stats. I was like such a fly on the wall in that conversation because I was so brand new. I'd been doing it for like a month or something, and you guys were all talking about people that were in the community and things that had happened and like best practices, like the sites that the things that were changing about the
Right.
site. And I was just like trying to soak up all this information because I was like, this could be like a viable way for me to make
Right.
money, and it like was all so new to me, and I think I had like barely got my first check for like $300, and it was like a big sacrifice for me to like buy a plane ticket
What
to
did you
fly
think
out
about
to San
that?
Francisco.
I think that I was like, well, it's kind of crazy, but I was excited because he was excited. Like, I
Right.
didn't understand it at all.
Right.
I was just like, okay, YouTube, whatever. But he was so excited about it, and it was the first time he'd been excited about
That's cool.
Yeah.
anything like that.
That's
So-
good to have because like when I did it, like people were just like, you're doing what?
Right.
What?
Yeah, it's
because I was in
kinda weird.
school and people were like, "Oh, you need to go get a job." And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna." My old videos are the most embarrassing ones in the world. I should private them because they're so bad. But they're like, "That's what you're doing," so people would always talk bad. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You had somebody like,
Because you graduated college.
yeah, I was in college. I was doing I was a projectionist, and I gotta give a huge thank you to my old boss. Like they would just let me, like Elliot and Zarth. His name was actually Zarth.
That's crazy.
They would
Zarth?
just right. He would just let me be up there, switch the movies out, and just make movies up there and
Yeah.
edit the videos and spend and waste all their hours doing
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
I remember like when you quit that job and like the videos that you were making there.
Oh.
I thought it was so interesting because you had a video where you showed like you changing the reels.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah, I
movie
remember
theater.
that.
And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, this is like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now like 5 years of YouTube later, it's like you see all that kind of stuff now because people, it's just like you get to know people and like different things in life
Right.
better. What I was gonna say is you were famous on MySpace first. Didn't you have like 50,000 MySpace friends?
MySpace, man, that's
Isn't that
like
crazy?
That's like almost like when we were on MySpace, we said something about Friendster being so like long ago.
Right,
Or LiveJournal, yeah. Like I had a lot of. That's where everything came from. I had like, I don't even remember what it was, like 150,000, 200,000 on MySpace.
How did you get
That's
so big on
crazy.
MySpace?
That was a bet. That was actually
Really?
honestly a bet. It was between my friend Anthony and I. We were like, just we'll see who can get more friends on MySpace in
Right.
like a month's term, and then the other person. This was college, so we were broke. We had nothing, and they were like, "Yeah, we buy each other a 12-pack. Whoever won."
Yeah.
He still hasn't paid up, but like, yeah,
think
I ended
you
up
won.
winning, and I don't know how I did it, but I just. did all this like I don't know, just marketing and emailing and stuff like that, and random thing. I randomly emailed my future wife doing that.
No way.
That's how I actually have an email in there on MySpace.com still to Allie.
No way.
Yeah,
What
randomly.
was
That's
the
cool.
email?
It was
Hey,
like,
I want to
hey-
marry
Was
you
it like a mass
and make
email?
videos.
Yeah,
before
it was kind of
yours.
like it was a mass email. Just like I went through all the people in my hometown, and I just added people, and I thought it was like that would be the easiest way to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And she's from the same area.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
That's cool.
It was weird.
So you guys, you see, spam can lead to good things.
Spam equals happy.
Spam equals marriage.
Love.
Yeah.
Let's just segue into that really quick. So
We're just went all over the place
yeah,
on that one, man.
That's how we just bounce around here at
We
the
like
WTK.
to bounce around.
The bounce around.
The bounce around.
So one, yeah, you met your wife of how long have you guys been married now? 2 years?
A year.
A year?
A little
Just
over a year
It's
now.
a year, yeah.
You met your wife online, but your whole wedding was online.
Yep.
Dude, I was telling Charles the other day, if you guys haven't seen their wedding video, bam, right there, check it out. It is, I've watched that video 15 times. At least.
It's
At
so
least
good.
15 times. On 1080 full screen.
You gotta watch it on 1080.
1080 full screen. Big shout out to Corey Vidal for and
whole
his
Apprentice A team,
for
like,
putting that
they
together.
killed it.
Those guys are super talented. And
Voice Avenue for doing the rendition.
Yep.
Yeah.
I and you try your best,
you're doing
but
it
you
in the vlog,
don't
yeah.
succeed. That song is just so good, and it was because you're such good friends of ours, and plus we were at that wedding,
Right.
and there were so many of our YouTube friends who were at that wedding.
You were
like,
there since the beginning too.
right? Like
yeah.
we knew Allie from even like when you broke up with your old girlfriend,
Yeah.
you know, and it was always like, oh, there's a new Allie in Charles's
Yeah.
life. You know what I mean? We were there for that whole thing.
I remember like introducing you two were like the ones that are like I had to like get the approval from. It was
Right.
like,
We're your
Like,
mom and dad.
I don't really have a lot of friends after high school. Like it was like you guys and like YouTube became a lot of my good friends,
Yeah.
and you guys came like my close ones. So I'm like, all right, we got to go to California. You got to meet my buddies.
Gotta go,
and
yeah.
if they don't approve, I don't know what we're gonna do. Here.
I remember immediately feeling like she is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you
I
guys
liked
just
her-
fit so well
Yeah.
together.
Well, she was like so good with our kids and with Malachi. Like Malachi just, I remember like laid on her. And
Yeah,
she just
constantly.
She like sat there for like 30 minutes just petting Malachi, and I was like, I like this chick.
Yeah.
This chick. And Malachi just was in love with her. I miss
yeah.
Malachi.
I know.
Get closer to the mic.
Oh, I gotta get closer to the mic. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go.
He don't pull a Taze on Day. He's breathing. He pulls away from the mic to breathe.
Wow, 2008 reference
yeah,
right there.
right.
Jeez.
Oh, we had Tay on the podcast.
That's
Anyways, so that, yeah, like I remember 2 weeks after we came home from your wedding, I watched that video over and over. And I'm like, it's just so beautiful.
That was like such a cool event because we had everybody, because I always come out here to see everybody, and it was cool to have everyone
Come
at
out to Florida.
my hometown and stuff like that, and celebrate such a good time. And like you said, Corey, the Apprentice A team, just did such an amazing job, and such
and
a
it's
cool thing.
it's a video that I mean, you don't have to even know you to love and
Right.
appreciate the video.
That's
Like,
what
it's
he did
just
such a good
so
job.
well put together and
He was like
touching.
He was like Corey. Like after he sent his whole team home, he was like, I can't leave. I have to stay. Locked himself in my office
And edited,
And
yeah.
I had to leave for tour because it was such a awkward time because like I had just joined We the Kings, so it was like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? So I was on tour up until 2 days before the wedding. They flew in. He was editing everything, and then the day after. 2 days after the wedding, I had to fly back out for the tour.
Oh, man.
So Corey's still editing the video,
At your
and I'm
house.
already on tours again.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing.
Was that hard as a newlywed? I mean, that's tough on a relationship to
Yes,
be on tour
how
like
has
that.
this whole year been? I mean, has it been?
Yeah, you've had a crazy year.
Let's
if you
just
think
talk
about it,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
year.
it's
we're
pretty-
talking wedding, became the bass player of a giant rock band, brain tumor,
On tour,
kicked
week away.
cancer's butt.
No, not cancer.
Not, oh, right.
It was just a tumor.
Just a tumor.
That was a
You're like, no,
misconception.
stop.
Yeah, it didn't get that far. Yeah.
So yeah, you've had a crazy year.
It's
and
been a crazy
and it's
year,
all online to go watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
crazy thing about it.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. I mean, it's kind of been a blur because we were just talking when Shay picked me up when we met Sinbad.
Sinbad was
Yeah.
at the
Right.
airport. I
Yeah.
ran up on I almost ran over Sinbad when I picked up Charles at the
Oh,
airport.
so good.
I was like, I wanted to get close to the curb, and like I wanted to kind of cool my truck, and
Oh, you look cool.
I like
you always look cool, babe.
Yeah.
Charles and Sinbad are standing there like talking. I'm like, there's Sinbad. Charles and Sinbad are talking. So I like pull up and I'm like, I go up on the curb. I'm like, and then I pull out, and I just got back from church, so I'm like in my suit with these sunglasses
Men in Black
on.
right there.
So I get out, and I'm sure
The best part was he was everyone's grumpy when they get off an airplane for like he probably traveled for all over the place. He was so grumpy, and then the second that happened, he just started laughing. So
when I hit the curb,
you just made his day.
I break the ice. You got to break the ice somehow. Anyways, yeah, what were you saying?
Oh, I have no idea.
You're saying
No, you're talking about your year.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. It's been a blur. Oh, that's what I was saying. Like it was just like it's been. I can't believe February is already almost a year ago and stuff like that. But the touring has been awesome. I'm getting to go places that I've never been in. In the past year, my passport went from having Toronto stamped from 888 or something like that to like I have to get more pages now. It's full.
That's awesome.
But I'm getting to meet all the viewers and like all over the place, and it's just been such an amazing like experience being with best friends. It's not like I just joined a band that I didn't know.
Right.
It was like these are my best friends.
So real quick, if anybody doesn't know, Charles is the bassist of a band called We the Kings. You all know one of their songs. Well, they're probably best known for Check Yes Juliet.
Check Yes Juliet.
Check Yes Juliet. Da, 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 da. Put a link right there.
Yeah.
And Travis, the lead singer, is very, very talented. That guy can sing. Like when we came to Warped Tour, me and Casey came to Warped Tour and got to stand backstage and watch Travis sing. Like he sings full voice.
Yeah,
and can hit these high notes and is just really talented. So, anyways, Travis is the bass. No, Charles.
I'm the bassist.
Charles is the bass player. What's your name again? Charlie. Come here, Charlie.
Oh shit.
But he grew up with those guys.
I did. I grew up. I was in a band. I just recently uploaded our first show. I was in a band with Danny, our drummer. When I was 17, he was 15. So we grew up all together.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just uploaded our first show together. And I was in a different band. They were in a different band. We always played. We were like the rival band.
Really?
Yeah. And but we were all friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I went to school. I started doing YouTube stuff. And then I was up for a nomination for the Teen Choice Award a couple years ago.
Right.
And they were as well.
No way.
And so I'm like sitting there, you know, with Justine. It was that time with Justine and Fred. And so I'm sitting with Lucas and everybody, and I'm just like looking over. I'm like,
I know those guys.
is that Travis? And like, so I texted him, and then that's where we kind of reconnected.
Oh, cool.
And then their bass player left, and he immediately called me up, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, I love music, and I love you guys, so why not? You know.
How has that been on your marriage?
You know, it's kind of tough. It is tough because I'm gone a lot of the times, and I always think about like when my dad did it forever with Greg Allman and stuff.
His dad was in the Almond
Greg Allman band, for like 10 years, and I know like how tough it is for us. I couldn't imagine how much because I have FaceTime. We do the vlogs.
A lot
I love
more
the
communication.
Vlogs. Yeah, the vlogs are so great because I can see what she's doing and she can see what I'm doing, as well as the internet can see what we're doing.
Right.
But it's just as much for us. But you know, I miss her, the family, the dogs. But she knows, like when I sat down, when I got that call, I sat down, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do it. The first thing I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And she's like, well, she said the same thing my mom said to my dad was like, you're going to do it. When you're 40 years old, I don't want you going, I regret not doing that.
I wish I would have.
She's like, I don't want to deal with you then. So
Like
she
in the long term of things, it's not really that long.
Right, exactly. And then, you know, like, hopefully, you know, We the Kings goes quadruple platinum, and then
Which it has in Brazil or something, hasn't it?
It went platinum, and Say You Like Me went platinum in Australia, as well as Check Yes Juliet.
Dude, that's
awesome.
One thing that I was surprised
amazing,
about when you told me that you're gonna like be in We the Kings. I was like,
you were the first person I think I told. Too.
Yeah, I was like, you can play the bass. I was like, you can do that.
Yeah,
I was like shocked. I'm like, you can do everything. And then all of a sudden he's like, just playing bass professionally in this band.
I remember like you were the first person I called. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, because I asked you about the vlogs. I was like, what am I going to do with these?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that'll make the vlogs better.
Yeah.
I was just imagining like all the behind scenes, like any kid or any person who's ever loved a band. I remember any punk rock show I ever went to, I was always like, what do those guys do after the show? Because, you know, they're on stage and it's like they're the kings of that room. You know, like every kid in that auditorium or watching that show idolizes these people. And then it's just like, I remember I went and saw this concert. I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was Simple Plan, maybe I shouldn't tell the story. I went to this show, and like,
no.
after the concert was
This is
over, the lead singer was like, her, and like pointed at these 3 girls, and the usher guys like grabbed these chicks and took them
Was
backstage.
it Dave?
They grabbed
Was
him.
it the bass player?
This is turning into a little bit.
That's like
kidnapping? What's going on?
Well, you can assume what they took the girls backstage to
Groupies.
do.
I think
They
I know
wanted
what
to
you're
show them
talking
their
about.
guitar picks. And I was just
Oh,
like,
my goodness.
I was like, that's crazy. They just like picked out the hottest chicks in the crowd, and they just like went. That's probably a bad segue into you and your marriage.
We toured with Simple Plan, so I think I know exactly
That
what
might
you're
not
talking
even
about.
been then, though.
That's
well,
why
you know,
That's why I didn't want to say
Simple
Simple Plan because I know that you
Yeah.
toured with them, and I was like, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't tell this story.
No, they're good guys, but yeah, but it's funny, like you're saying, like we're like this, right? And then you cut to the vlog, and it's us sitting on a bus like this,
playing
like,
video games.
What are we gonna do today, huh? And
That's my next question. What does the band feel about you vlogging? Like, do they
it's
like it?
really
Is it
funny.
weird?
Travis and Danny eat it up. They love it. Danny, he does his own videos called King's Carriage, and we all as a band we do skits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis is just Travis. He loves just to be goofy because that's him.
Yeah.
He's constantly making like the stuff like that he does. He's not doing for the camera. He's done since I've known him since he was 14.
Right.
He just
Like,
is that character.
that's him.
Yeah.
Hunter and Coley were like kind of I don't get it, but now they love it too.
Yeah.
And it's weird to have a camera in front of you constantly. I
Right.
mean, they come from a world that's totally different.
Right.
Where it's old media, like where they're told no, even though they would want to do something and they're capable of doing it.
Right.
We come
Just
from
to
a world,
have like the right press or
right?
whatever.
Yeah. We come from a world where like we want to do something, we're just gonna do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Totally.
like for us to put the power it's kind of interesting for them to see. But they took some getting used to, but
Yeah.
now they take the camera and they just go. They love
awesome.
it.
So, like, you guys play big shows. Like, if you watch some of his vlogs, like when me and Casey, like I said, we got to come and be backstage at Warped Tour. There was like a sea of kids. It was
loved
it
it,
was
yeah.
insane to see like all these kids. And one thing that I noticed is like dispersed throughout the crowd, there's like all these signs of people holding up Charles Trippy, CTFxC,
Oh, yeah.
like all these CTFxC signs that they're holding in the audience. And I couldn't help but think like the band is benefiting hugely from it's like a meshing of audiences.
It's crazy how like I didn't know that so many people like We the Kings until I announced that it was going to be in the
Right.
band.
Well, it's like, because We the Kings had its own built-in audience
Right,
already,
yeah.
and you had a huge audience, and then they just mixed together, and
yeah.
it's like this perfect melting of like all these people coming together. Like, I love Charles, I love We the Kings, and
Yeah.
it's like the coolest thing, which to me is like, I feel like that's why the band will totally succeed because
I hope,
it adds
yeah.
another layer to bands that bands don't have.
They don't
you know
know
what I mean?
I feel like that's where the bands need to start doing is like when we were on Warped Tour and like it was so funny on Warped Tour, like I became the guy with the camera and the videos and stuff like that.
Right.
And, like when we were on tour with Simple Plan, like
Oh, yeah, you told me Simple Plan, yeah.
Pierre was like what do these signs mean? And then he started watching
Because he was
videos.
seeing CTFxC
Yeah,
signs
he was
at
confused.
his show.
And
Yeah.
then they start doing these little like blog stuff with like Sebastian and stuff like that. They started doing stuff like that. And I feel like on Warped Tour it was the same thing. Like bands would like see that we were doing all this stuff. They were showing up their fans were tweeting that they saw them in the video.
Right.
And then the band started going, "Oh, we should start doing something like that too."
Yeah.
And so then they would start coming up to like bands I love like would come up to me that I was always standoff. I mean, I get starstruck still.
Yeah.
Like Warped Tour was the biggest stars like ever.
So that's one question that I saw on the tweets because you're like this famous rock star now. What's been your biggest like starstruck moment? Like somebody you saw was like, holy crap.
Going on tour with Take Back Sunday. That was a big one for us and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Or like Matthew Lillard coming on our bus and hanging out. Like that was another pretty big
You're like,
one.
am I here really?
Yeah, I was like,
Am I at this point in my life?
the best part was like, because when you guys did your singing video, I noticed you guys had monitors and you
yeah.
and that's the biggest thing with a band is like having those monitors like level. And the coolest thing was with on Warped Tour, Matthew Lillard doing his impression of us on Warped Tour, which is always like, I can't hear. So he comes on the bus, he's like, hey, I got an impression I've been working on with you guys. And he just started doing that. And it
Yeah.
was just like, this is Matthew Lillard, man.
Yeah.
This is like,
He's
this is
doing an
Shaggy. You
impression
know
of
what I mean?
us.
Like, it was cool. So that was a pretty big moment for me. And
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then I got to experience what it's like to be on a Rockstar tour bus. Like your little bunks are like tiny,
Yeah, you
like
popped in there and
little
It's not as
coffins.
glamorous as it might
oh,
seem.
it's not. It's not.
Because you did a skit video on your Charles TRIPPY channel about like what it's like to be on tour life, and it was raining outside, and you went and showered in the rain.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You have to get used to
Yeah,
living.
Corey, we were doing in Toronto. We filmed a whole like live show, and we were sitting down on the tour bus, and we were gonna do this interview, and all of a sudden we saw a little leak, and we're like, oh, that's whatever. Here's a cup. Then all of a sudden it just poured in the bus. The bus was sinking essentially, and it was just like, yeah, okay, this is tour life. All right, there we go.
It's like the Sword and the Stone, and they put pots everywhere.
Right.
So I wanted to talk about, because like, okay, so this is so cool that you have this band, and that
Right.
all these people get to see like the behind the scenes stuff. Just talking about like transparency as far as like just putting your life online.
yeah, you guys know that too.
We can transition to daily vlogs. So we started. I remember I told Colette, I still vividly remember the day that I came up with the idea of like,
Right.
I'm gonna make a video every single day,
Right.
for a whole year. And I was like, whoa, could I do that every day?
I was blown away when you told me about it too.
I know. I remember, like telling a couple,
what?
and people are like,
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. But
crazy
then,
talk.
just the way that I am, I was like, that would be super hard, but that would be cool to see if I could do it. Like what if that would be like epic? And I always say like I wanted to do something crazy or cool for the last year of my 20s because I was 29 when I started, and so we started the daily vlogs, and this coming March 5th, so we're like a couple months away from hitting 4 years.
Right.
Every day, but we've missed a few days. That's what I want to talk. Hey, you haven't missed any days
We
yet,
haven't
have
missed
you?
a day yet.
What are you at? When did you start? You started just like a month after us.
You were like
March 5th.
March. So I guess we were like April May 1st. I think so. We're a couple months after
May 1st.
Yeah, and it was fun. What's interesting is when you guys started doing that, that was at the transitional time of YouTube being like, you can only do a video every other day or once a week. Otherwise,
Right.
people
Right.
got annoyed.
Right.
Yeah.
And that now you have to do a video every single day. Otherwise, people
They'll forget
lose
about you.
you
Forget
in the
about you.
subscription boxes. You know what I mean? But no, we haven't missed a day, and it's been almost 4 years.
4 years.
So how long are you gonna go?
That's a very good question. Like, I feel like if I stopped, I would still film. So like, it's like one of those things
Right.
where like, I don't know why I would stop.
It's not like a burden. It's just like
Yeah,
this
it's
is what we do.
it's second nature. I mean, my camera's right here, so it's
Yeah.
like it's always in my pocket. My jeans have like made like a permanent.
It's like a wallet.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
to be honest, though, sometimes it is a burden.
it is.
Sometimes it is.
I mean, sometimes it's not easy to film every day.
It's very. I think it's very difficult to make your life not necessarily interesting, but like, I guess it is
like
almost
you can't be
interesting.
boring.
Yeah, you
like,
can't just sit on the couch, watching TV, flipping through. You have to like actively think of something.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
also good because it motivates you not to sit on the couch watching TV.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I agree. Like, one of my favorite videos of you guys' vlogs were like, I don't remember what year it was for you, but like you're just feet are over the water.
That was like month 3. I
Yeah.
was like,
I don't wanna make a video
I don't
today.
feel like making a video today, and I got a lot of like backlash because of that. Like, well, you shouldn't have said that you're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
remember that.
was a long time ago.
It's so funny
You know
'cause
what's
I remember-
funny? This is disgusting.
those are the same shoes.
These are the sandals that are in that video, and that was like
He's had them for a long time.
dirty ditch. Don't smell.
They
it.
they actually fell apart, and he glued them back together with his like granite.
I ain't one to
glue.
give up on a sandal.
You guys should be clicking on his ads then. I guess he needs to get some new
No,
shoes.
I've had these sandals for 4 years, man.
No, but I remember when you first started, when you said, I'm gonna make a video every year for my 29th year, and it was one of those moments where like he has this great idea, and so I don't want to be like, don't do that.
right.
But I remember kind of just thinking, oh, that's easy, just a couple minutes a day, whatever. But I didn't realize like the depth
Right.
that he would like, the commitment, I guess, that it was, and that he would the effort that he would put into it. And I think that they've been amazing because of the effort you have put into them.
You got to see your kids grow up.
Yeah,
right?
and
It's-
I was just watching a vlog yesterday of Baby Tard, and we were actually traveling home to Idaho in 2009, I think it was, and I was just like, I'm so glad that we have this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we have it, and we have 4 years of that.
Right.
So I think it's amazing. I don't think that I'd want to stop necessarily because it's like a journal but a
Right.
visual.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's like
Well-
a photo says 1,000 words. Like
Yeah.
a video must be like
Totally.
a billion. Like, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like,
So we're going to wrap this podcast up, but we're going to do a second podcast. We're going to come back and talk about the times where like you because you're like the only one that I can commiserate to. Like me and Charles
We've
have had
been doing it.
conversations
Yeah.
We know
where it's like
what
we
you're
know
going
what it's
through.
like, and it's funny because like we've been out to dinner with him and Allie, and it's like, do you guys ever fight? Like, you didn't get footage today? We need footage.
It's
And it's like we get in these fights about like we need footage, and then like you don't feel like filming because you're mad that you have to film, and you're tired, you don't feel like it, and sometimes it just like gets stressful. And we're gonna talk about the bad parts of vlogging your life every single day. Tune in for the second episode. What will happen, Batman? Will they vlog every day? Will they kill their wives in the process?
Or their husbands. We get mad too.
We will see. And roll the music. When will the Trippies have babies?
Yay! It's baby time.
Stay tuned.
Should I tell
Trippy
him?
time,
Oh no, we
baby
gotta wait.
time.
Okay, just wait.
Download the link.
When the kids go to sleep.
Goodbye.
Is the link down there now, or is it over here?
It's
the link?
somewhere. It's in your pants.
Is it back in the pants now?
Yeah, it's in the pants bar.